So welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being here to celebrate the Roma International Day. It's a very important moment for all European Roma. And that's because not only celebrating the International Roma Day, but also having a jubilee of this important historical date for Roma. We'll discuss on its signification and the history of it during this meeting. It is one of the first summit, if you allow me to say that, of the Roma students that are supported by Roma Education Fund. And I'm very pleased and honored in my capacity of chair of the Roma Education Fund board to welcome you all to the discussion on such an important date for the Roma. It is important to acknowledge that Roma are developing themselves through our capacities. And the students that are here, only a part of what we support, it is a great human resource for the development of Roma communities in the future. As I saw here, and that's the plan, my colleague from European Roma Institute for Arts and Culture, Timea Junhaus, I will invite her to tell us briefly what it is, why 8th of April is so important to us as Roma. Timea, if you can open your mic.
Thank you, Ciprian. Can you hear me? Very good. First of all, it's such an honor to be with all of you. My computer says we are 201 person at the moment. I am humbled to speak in front of you and also very humbled and honored to serve on the board of REF, of the Roma Education Fund. Exactly 50 years ago, at the first Romani Congress, 1971, April 8th, Roma authors, musicians, politicians, representatives of the intellectual public elite gathered near London. And for the first time in history, they claimed Roma authorship. They put the seed in the very fertile ground for why we are here today. Claiming Roma authorship at that moment meant that, and imagine this is completely surreal. Until that point, Roma were represented exclusively in a collective manner when they were somehow presented by folklorists, ethnographers, anthropologists, or other institutions of the major, not by. The first Roma Congress means for us that we need to continue that nothing that is about us Roma can happen without us Roma. There is a very important result. We are sitting here today with several symbols in our background. Many of you chosen the Roma flag. Many of you have the red chakra behind you. And in a lot of events in the next 2 days, we will be singing Jelem Jelem. The first Roma Congress established a Roma nation. What does this mean? This means that every day we Roma people make a choice that our nation exists through many symbols, symbols of the anthem, symbols of the flag, and most importantly, through our assemblies in physical space, but also here digitally. This means that we assemble and we make a claim to shape our own identity, our self-determination. We go into the public space and we are proud and we celebrate our ancestors and we celebrate our own power to shape the future. If you don't stop me, Ciprian, I will just go on, you know?
I know. That's great, Timea. Thank you very much for this brief introduction of this important event for Roma. You mentioned the anthem, and intentionally left it to be played after you because I really want to have this moment in the full understanding of it. So I will ask Adi, my colleague, to start playing the Roma anthem, and please listening to it in the context in which we've been introduced by Timea Iron House. Aveți Bactele Romale, Opre Roma. So thank you once again for being here. It's such an important date for Roma, for the pride of being Roma. We are Roma and proud, and we are for a free Europe. And that's because Europe is one of our houses. We are also in other continents, in Latin America, South America, in North America, in Asia, and God knows where Roma families are still living around this earth. And as we are European here, and most of the Roma probably are living in Europe, I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that this is our home. And being proud and wishing to have a free Europe, it's a dream of people of this continent that should be open to everybody. However, we still face issues, as you know. Racism and discrimination is always on our speeches. It's something that Roma face. Poverty is something else. But we let's speak about our own engagement, about our role, and what we can do together in terms of changing the situation in which we are. I think creating resilient Roma communities, the fact that we should engage as much as we can in public life is part of our mission and mandate. Without it, there will be Roma and others will create our path. And speaking about that, we have a past. Not only our personal histories with our families and our communities, but we have a political past. In 71, this is what happened. People that gathered there created a historical moment that we celebrate today. And we are lucky that, in a way, that people that attended that meeting are still with us today. I had a discussion, a longer one, with Gratan Puxon, one of the key person of the Congress in 71, that will be fully broadcasted on our webpage and Facebook. And now I would like to share with you a short version of my discussion with Gratan Puxon, one of the key person again that was in London that time. Please listen to one of the important person that created this moment.
we all met up in a pub, which amazingly had the first words on the door of this pub was "No gypsies." And we had a couple of meetings of our Gypsy Council, and we said, we will host it. We will do it in London. Come on, let's do it. And if you see behind me this big house, that was a school called Cannock House School. Well, we had no agenda, but we had a kind of, if you like, a white piece of paper. It was a blank sheet of paper. We could do anything we wanted to do. And I say to people, you give us great credit and this Congress has become a legend, but for us, it wasn't so difficult to do things that had never yet been done. And the first one, as you'll see, the Romani flag. But we bow to you in Romania because the blue and green flag, as we understand it, originated in Romania at least as early as 1934 and probably many years before that. In fact, I hope that soon you will have a celebration of 100 years of the Romani flag soon. What we did was to put the red wheel on top. And that was done as a kind of symbol, both of traveling, but it was also the Ashok Chakra, which gave us the connection with India. Being a person who believes in direct action and protest, we took a bus up to Birmingham, where tragically 3 children had been burned to death sometime before because their caravans were pulled out on the road and one caravan caught fire. So led by Thomas Holomek, who was quite a weighty person. He was a military prosecutor. He led a protest and almost an invasion of the local police station where we laid down how angry we were about those deaths. And on the way home in the bus, Žako Jovanović, I hope you know his name, Žako Jovanović, Jagdino, Loki Povleske, he began to write the words. He physically, on the bus, got out some paper and started writing new words for the old traditional song, Kali Tracha, what we now call Jelem Jelem, in a new version, which has become our national anthem. The third thing that we did at this Congress was to proclaim 8th of April to be Roma Nation Day. And we realized the seriousness of that because, of course, in the first debates of the Congress said we no longer want to hear the word gypsy, Sigan, anything like that, which is so derogatory. We want the word Rom to become the accepted usage in the media, not just among ourselves, but in the media and in the public mind. So that is why we now have April 8th and to continue as, I hope, Roma Nation Day. And we agreed at the Congress that discussion about Romanistan would not take place because of the political repercussions of us trying to claim something that was kind of impossible. Believe me, in the heart of every Rom, wherever a Romni is living, that is a little part of Romanistan. So the idea will never die because it's in our hearts and in the places wherever we happen to live, a village or town. So today, it kind of, well, I can say it honestly, I'm not happy about it because we seem to be going backwards because we see from the EU that we are referred to as minority, as an ethnicity. We have an international Roma Day. What happened to Roma National Day? What happened to our status as nationality? What happened to our inspiration to emerge today as Roma nation, a nation, yes, without territory, without borders, because I believe that's a perfectly good and progressive aim to have, because in our present day politics, Everybody around the world, ordinary people, want to do away with borders. And we certainly want to do away with borders because we are scattered in so many different countries. We want the borders to come down. We want a more united world. Now, what have we done up until now? Yes, we have established the word Roma. It is the word used in the media. But by goodness, if you look at the British press, the word Roma is almost now as bad as the word gypsy. And I feel as if I'm talking to students today through this interview, it is down to them now to not to look backwards, although I hope they have some inspiration from what was done in the past, but to look to their own communities. Every one of them will have a community. I know some are from Bulgaria, some from Romania and so on, to look at their own community and see what they can do locally to organize and to get improvements and make demands and hopefully make progress that way. So don't ask, have your thoughts, have your wishes. Don't ask for 50% or seek 50%. Seek 100% of what is in your heart. And that is respect for the Roma nation, first of all. In 100 years' time, well, I shan't see it. But if this Jubilee goes well, I can say I will die happy. I will die happy.
Gratan Puxon. He was one of the person that was there in 71. And my colleagues, when he edited the film, that is much longer, it's 45 minutes, the story with the bus and the kids that were killed in Birmingham was about a historical moment when our anthem was written, because they were under the influence of this sad, high emotional moment. So that's why our anthem is one of the saddest, anthem in the world. We're not talking about heroes. We're not talking about victories. We're talking about, our way in surviving in this world in our anthem. And that's amazing, how history was written. And I was really pleased to discuss with Mr. Gratan Puxon. And also you saw the message that he had to you, the new generation, the students. Look backward, learn from it, inspire, and work as much as we can locally for your own community. Let's contribute, each one of us, according to our own heart, to our communities. And that's an excellent message, I would say, and a good opening for what is going to be next on our agenda. We prepared it in the following way. We wanted to give a voice to our students. That's why I call it a student summit. Sure, it's improvising that, but I really like to have this level of discussion from all of you. And I know you've been preparing in your groups, in your countries, on what should be the message that you deliver today. And you also elect one of you to deliver these messages. So let me invite to address to all of us from Albania, Eglantina Aliu, which is a student to finance and risk management. So, Ms. Aliu, if you're ready, please open your mic.
Dear board members, management and staff, dear fellow Roma students all over Europe and beyond, it is an honor and privilege to deliver this message on the International Roma Day and on the 50th anniversary of First World Roma Congress. I'm Eglantina Aliu, studying MA for Finance and Risk Management. I'm being supported for 4 years from Roma Education Fund Scholarship. Today's commemoration is not only to celebrate Roma culture, language, traditions, and identity. It is also a day in which we should turn our head behind and recall past events, achievements, and even failures. It is a day to reflect on the past, in this present moment, and envision a better and brighter future. Highlight the persisting barriers of inequality, discrimination, and stigma around 12 million of Roma people encounter it widely in Europe in almost all life areas. As most of the countries, Roma in Albania is also suffering under the heavy hoof of the global crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Unpleasant events have brought about excessive fatalities socially, economically, and in human lives. Once again, global problems have proven that vulnerable groups, socially and financially excluded and deprived, have been pushed even further to margins of poverty and exclusion. The pandemic consequences have further deteriorated equality balances among Roma and non-Roma populations. Through 15 years of REF support made it happen that in Albania nowadays can be counted hundreds of Roma students and graduates. Tens of highly educated Roma boys and girls have contributed on increasing the quality and the presence of Roma, bringing along with them advanced skills and capacities, innovation, and progressive ideas in influencing through the organization, advocacy processes in education, and more. Their contribution pushed forward advocacy and lobbying activities that enabled the government to evoke the law to minorities and strategic document for the Roma inclusion in Albania. On this April 8 occasion, we all should commemorate and praise the contribution of many of our colleagues, professors, academics, and Roma activists. I can mention hundreds of personalities, but considering the past tragic events in Albania, I would like to stop and commemorate the deeds of Professor Curtiade and the first Roma journalist in Albania, Mr. Arben Kosturi. They will always be remembered as vivid activists and academics that advocated dearly to include the Roma language in universities in Albania. Professor Curtiade erected an immense work to compile curricula on Roma language and provided to the universities in order to teach generations of Roma children our dear language. A close colleague to him and friend was Mr. Kosturi, that will be always remembered as a Roma journalist whose contribution stands on the promotion of Roma culture, language, and tradition by showing the Roma identity in media, and as one of the founders of the Roma Versitas Albania. This day should remind us of the various contributors to inequality and inclusion, such as online hate speech and fake news. These are rising and spreading like a virus, but ring a bell that racist theories are not past gone. Thousands, hundreds of Roma in Europe continue to face discrimination, anti-Gypsyism, and social and economic exclusion. Prejudices and stereotypes still play a significant adverse role in today's society. Therefore, we need to do more and better for Roma equality and participation in European society. This 8 April and years to come, Albanian government should commit to European Union's value to ensure that Roma people are included in society and have equal access to education and employment in order to close the gaps of inequality between Roma and non-Roma students and graduated. In addition, to make possible as many of Roma professionals to be included on the decision-making processes and to be hired on the governmental structure. We need to stand united, put aside what makes us culturally or socially different, and work jointly in overcoming the challenges reinforced by the crisis. Thank you, and Toven Saste.
So, excellent, and I think your reflections and also speak about Marcel Curtiade is very important, and I hope that his memory will be always with us, as he was influential not only for Albania, but for international Romani movement. Let's move right now to Bosnia and Herzegovina, where Adelisa Kulčović from economics faculty will address to us. Please, Adelisa.
Hi, everyone. Maybe I should just remove my virtual background just for you to see me.
Yes, we cannot see you, please.
Yeah, okay. Just a second. Okay. I think it's okay now.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adelisa, and I'm speaking and sending you greetings from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm very honored and grateful for the opportunity to participate in today's celebration of the 50th anniversary of the First World Roma Congress. Speaking about Bosnia and Herzegovina, did you know that the 1995 Constitution of Bosnia and Herzegovina, created as part of the Dayton Agreement, which ended the 1992 to 1995 Bosnian War, included power sharing provisions, which provided that posts in the tripartite presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina and the House of the Peoples were reserved for only ethnic Bosniaks, Bosnian Serbs, and Bosnian Croats. But what about others? Do you know that Roma and Jews, as members of national minorities, cannot be singed for election to the presidency and the House of the Peoples in our country? In 2006, Dervo Sejdic, Roma activist, and Jakub Finci, the current president of the Jewish community, planned Bosnia and Herzegovina, and on the 22nd December 2009, European Court of Human Rights delivered its judgment in the Sejdic and Finci case. This judgment confirmed the discriminatory nature of the electoral system in Bosnia and Herzegovina from standing for election to the presidency and the House of the Peoples. Unfortunately, this judgment isn't implemented yet, but there are hopes that it will happen soon. So what if they were Oblant? What would happen if they didn't stand for their and our human rights? That's what gave me motivation to be confident and persistent in my goals. I always try to do my best and be the best version of myself, but for myself, for my satisfaction and my employment opportunities. Why do I have to prove myself as smart, educated, hardworking, creative, responsible as any other man or woman in my country to be equal to them and have the same human rights as them? Since the situation isn't as I think it would be, I decided to put my effort into my education, my abilities, and my confidence so that I can provide my contribution to the improvement of the Roma community. I was a representative of the student council in high school for three years and went to many seminars, workshops, and then school rewarded me for the best student in my generation. Also, there are many Roma students and young people that I met who are very ambitious and devoted to make a difference for Roma in Bosnia. I'm happy because they share the same ideas as me and understand that education is a powerful tool to improve their lives and that they already make a difference for the Roma community in our country by choosing education as a doorway to success.
So, also for Roma Education Fund, education is very important, but I'm pretty sure that only educated people wouldn't make a change without an engagement. And that's another dimension of education, the empathy and solidarity towards our communities. And that's something that we should address further in our discussions and the way how Roma movement for the best of our communities, it's organizing. I will kindly ask you, I know that you all have some 5 minutes to talk. So don't speed up because we have an interpretation in Romani language and I'm a speedy also speaker, but if you can slow down a little bit so the translator can also do her role in translating into Romanes. And thank you, Mihaela, for doing that. Now we move to Bulgaria. Elvira Sashova, student to journalism and psychology. Elvira, please.
Dear Mr. Nikula, dear Mr. Chupri, dear national coordinators, dear fellow students, my name is Elvira Sashova, 19 years old from Bulgaria. I am a freshman student specializing in journalism and psychology at the American University in Bulgaria. Today, I would like to speak on behalf of Roma students from Bulgaria about the importance of education, professional realization of Roma students, activists, leaders, and the considerable help and support we receive from the Roma Education Fund in order to realize our dreams. On the eve of the International Roma Day and marking the 50th year since the first Roma Congress, which was held in 1971, I would like to thank you all for the mission you have accomplished and for the support you have provided over the years and continue to do so for numerous Roma students. Education is the key to success for every person. Still, not everyone has the opportunity to get a quality education and have access to services that most young people are given and do not appreciate. Therefore, we appreciate how valuable the support of the Roma Educational Fund is for all of us, and we hope that your work will continue over the years in order to be able to generate more and more quality Roma intelligentsia to work for the development of the Roma community. We, the students from Bulgaria, continue to actively monitor and be interested in the current state of the Roma community in our country and are ready to participate in various initiatives to support our ethnicity. On the ground across the country, we have volunteer groups set up to work to develop their settlement and help the people who live there. For this reason, I think it is of utmost importance to consider supporting Roma students as early as they join the university. This can happen through their active participation in various Roma movements or non-governmental organizations. This early inclusion will create and strengthen a more vital Roma self-awareness and initiative in students, and I strongly believe that after their graduation, these students will be determined and have an internal understanding and sense of the need for their active participation in the change toward a more substantial, united, and active community. We are aware that the Roma community needs strong and motivated young people to break Roma stereotypes over the years. That is why we will continue to fight and seek the right place to practice our professions and acquire new skills to make generations proud before us and those after us. I hope that we will gather together again after 50 years as a more united, free, and active generation and celebrate our history and achievements. We should continue our fight, and in order to do so, we will suggest the professional development of Roma students shall occur as early as the students are accepted to university. This can happen through the active inclusion of the Roma Educational Fund in the life of students. REV must be a bridge between Roma students, alumni, and the businesses, providing internship opportunities in different countries. Furthermore, in the spirit of the first Roma Congress, I proposed establishing periodic meetings for Roma beneficiaries from different countries where REV operates. This exchange would help create stronger bonds between our brothers and sisters from other states, thereby strengthening our sense of unity and more substantial international leadership. An example is RSL and Roma Standing Conference in Bulgaria, for which I am part. In this way, we believe that positive results will multiply many times and be more visible, and will finally become real participants in the decision-making process at local, national, and European level. Thanks for the attention. Nothing for Roma without Roma. Opre Roma.
Thank you very much, Elvira. Unfortunately, not being in a conference room where we can upload all of you, I should make this after everybody. I think at the end we'll have the chance that we'll all open our mics and at least upload for all the speakers today. Let me move to the next speaker. But again, I have to mention before that I will really please slow down when you speak because our translator cannot really follow while you are reading and going quickly. It is really impossible for a translation in Romanes. So please be aware of that and try to sequence somehow your speech. From Hungary now, Norina Mahula from Law University. Norina, if you can open your mic, please.
I hope you can hear me fine.
We do.
Great. So, dear all, I'm very honored to be talking on behalf of the recipients of the Hungarian Roma Education Fund scholarships this year. For all of you who would not know me, my name is Norina. I'm 19 years old and I'm studying law at the University of Southampton in the United Kingdom right now. There has been a time, not so long ago, when I was still doubtful about my chances of success at being accepted to a university outside of Hungary. I knew that my financial situation would make it impossible for me to attend without scholarships to support me. And my old secondary school teachers in Hungary were very discouraging towards me and my capabilities as a young student in general. However, I have also been lucky enough to be surrounded by friends and family who recognize the potential in me and never stop motivating me to start achieving my wildest academic dreams and goals. That is the main reason why on this very specific occasion, the 50th anniversary of the first International Romani Congress, I wanted to talk to you about the educational environment that our Roma students grew up in and the challenges that they might have to face. However, most prominently, I would like to focus on all solutions to overcome the previously mentioned challenges, because I would like this event and the speeches of all of my fellow scholarship winners to become that voice of encouragement for all Roma students who listen right now. I clearly remember the day when I realized what it meant for certain students to have a Roma ethnic heritage in the Hungarian education system. A few years ago, I heard about the systemic segregation of Romani students in the primary school of Gyöngyöspata, a Hungarian town. It was incredibly disheartening to hear about the blatant racism and ignorance that many students had to suffer from. It was up to the courts to provide compensation to the families of the students in 2019. And I personally found this incredibly powerful and inspirational. I realized the crucial role of the courts to protect people's basic rights, and that as a future lawyer, I would have the knowledge and competence to help others in need too. This incident motivated me to set a goal and become a lawyer, but it also made me think about what else can be done for Roma students to support them in receiving the best education possible. Although in fact, there are many possible routes to take if one would like to provide help in relation to the education of Roma students, here are the two most significant ways I have been supported or have tried to support other students. The first thing that I'd like to highlight would be scholarships that are targeting students with Roma ethnic heritage specifically. Throughout my academic journey, I received a great aid from scholarships, be it either financial or any other type of aid. Scholarship programs also let Roma students to connect with fellow Roma peers, form bonds and friendships with each other. Roma education is one of the most regarding education and enable study and receive university. I'm aware that it is the selection of students from so many countries, be even more challenging to provide scholarship recipients each other. I'd like to express how incredibly grateful in the name of all the beneficiaries of the scholarships. Roma Education Fund provides financial support that is crucial for many Roma students in order to start and finish their studies at university. And this group of students includes me too. I can only imagine how great of a responsibility it is for the organization to fund so many student studies. But witnessing the institution's commitment still inspires me to aspire to be able to do more for my Roma peers personally. Which leads me to my second point, to emphasize the importance of peer mentoring and the establishment of strong Roma student communities. In my personal experience, one of the best ways to motivate our fellow Roma students in education is to provide support in our fields of expertise. Tutoring can not only be a great help in academics, but it is another opportunity to create bonds with fellow Roma students. Peer mentoring allows older, more experienced students to give advice to younger students who are starting out at a new field. We are stronger if we stand together united. I have been tutoring Roma and disadvantaged children for years now, and it has been a great learning experience and privilege for me to work with so many groups and individuals. Now, one could easily raise the question whether the education of Roma students is really as important as I present it to be. I genuinely believe that Roma pupils' educations worth all of our time, money, and other efforts. Knowledge is power, and professionalism in our working fields is something that cannot be taken away from us. Education empowers Roma students, and educated Roma students are capable of anything that they set their mind on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, too. excellent as usual, and as all speakers so far. I have a good friend of mine, Roma MP, he used to be in Romania, and he said, quoting another intellectual, Roma intellectual, saying that the most dangerous Roma is one with a library card. Thank you for what you just said about it, and even for stronger we are united, but I think also united in ideas, not only because we belong to the same ethnic group or nation, but because we are united by some ideas about the future of our nation. I will invite now from Kosovo, Denur Pakaku. I hope I pronounced it right. I'm sorry if I had any.
Yes.
Please.
I'm Denur Pakaku. I'm student from Kosovo. I'm studying political science here in University of Pristina. For me, it's a pleasure and honor to participate today in this important event for our community. The 15th anniversary of International Roma Day is not just a date. More than that, it is in itself a multidimensional goal. Among other things, one of them is today when we continue to promote and protect our identity and be completely proud of it, as others did for us this about past 50 years ago. From this time today and from 1,000 years from Roma influx from northern India, thankfully from the place where I come, we have turned these goals into joint actions. From the place where I come, part of this Congress was also one great Roma personality from here. He was Nusrat Seharsay. Behind his generation are full of old and young activists and artists, students and journalists, girls and boys that we work tirelessly to protect our identity. Today we are still talking in Romani language from the old Târzimahala neighbor, which is about 600 or 700 years old, to another different neighbors in our city. From this place, today we promote and sing the old Romani songs, which are more than 300 years old, in a common and ambitious musical octet. Not only that, since we have been doing this for 3 decades, now through theatrical performance of Roma theater in Roma language. So here we, every day in every step, we are going forward with our achievement to be integrated without assimilations. I believe that so today and forever, educating our community is the key of prosperity. This does not mean that comparatively we have not developed in this direction, but we must know the identity through education, because we are and will be more rational and more hopeful for its heritage. For this, even the stage where we live, it's the state where we live is with full of opportunities for our community. The Republic of Kosovo is an example for all states around Europe, I can say. About that, so how Roma are protected and respected through law and its constitution. But still, we need a lot of hard work and dedication for the good of all community. Thank you.
We're going to Macedonia to Burhan Zekir, which is a student to IT Systems and Networks. Please, Burhan.
Hello. Thank you for everyone that participating at this probably first online celebration, which is a big pleasure of mine. So I will start. My name is Burhan Zekir. I am 27 years old, married father of 2 years old Luna. I graduated computer science engineering and a student of a master's degree in computer science. For this special day, I would like to mention people from Macedonia who left a mark worth since 1971. Remember this year, please. 1971. Left mark for 365 days and one day recognizable by it is 8th of April, the day of the Roma, our day, our Romano Dive. When I talk about giants, I mean Faik Abdi, the first Roma politician in Macedonia, beyond a driving force for the recognition of the Roma nation since 1971, again this year. A fighter for the recognition of the Roma nation in the time of the former Yugoslavia, as well in Macedonia. First president of a Roma political party and first Roma MP, member of parliament, from a Roma political party. Next one I will mention Amdi Bayram, who was also founder and a supporter in the development of the Roma politics in Macedonia and the second member of parliament in independent Macedonia. Together with Faik Abdi, initiators and founders of the first Roma municipality in the world, which is well known, that is Shutărizări. The first Roma doctor, supporter and founder of the Roma movement in Macedonia, Dr. Bayram Berat, who is also founder of the first political party in Macedonia. I would also like to mention well-known Esma Recepova with her husband Stevo Tedosievski, who made a huge contribution to the world as promoters of Roma music and culture. Shaip Yusuf, promoter of the Romani language and author of the Roma grammar. Oscar Mahmud, publicist, author, journalist, Roma media information, and Roma history. Dr. Trajko Petrovski, ethnologist, publicist, writer and promoter of Roma culture and traditions. There are many others in the past 50 years where there is a lot to say. I would mention their name as an honor. Julistana Markovska, first Roma member of parliament who was a woman, Romani woman in the member of parliament. Nejdet Mustafa, first Roma major of Shutărizări. Ramu Rashidovski, professor, translator, and a writer. Rahim Burham, Roma theater director, which is well known over the Europe and in the world. I would like to tell you about my desire and goal as one of you in my IT field. I want to have more Roma IT. That is one of the reasons why I studied. I work hard. It fulfilled me to step on the path to my goal, where the Roma Education Fund, to which I'm grateful, made a financial contribution. I'm also grateful to all who supported me and additionally believed in my abilities, my education, and my intellectual development. All this has contributed to the fact that I can work with my labor and intellectual capacity, despite this discrimination and the stereotype that still exists even today in the middle of a global pandemic situation. I appeal to all young Roma and all younger generations to work and invest in themselves. regardless of their financial situation. They can achieve whenever or whatever they want. All obstacles can be overcome. I wish to see more educated Roma in all areas, but I would like also especially in the field of informatics in IT, because this is the key in today's society for education and social development. I would say also one message which we all need today during this pandemic situation. This is a quote from Charlie Chaplin, that we all want to help one another. Human beings are like that, but we want to live each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. Amen Shai, Amen Morate Jangle. Bahtalo of Toto Aprili Romale. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Burhan, for your inspirational speech, also on the past and the legacy that you have there, but also for the projection of the future and related to the new technologies and a subject that I think it's important to our communities, that our kids, our further educated people probably should go also in the field that obviously is connected to the future. Now we go in Slovakia, and Mikuláš Lakatos, which is a student in the Interdisciplinary Romani Study, Public Policy University at CEU. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. Please let me address you with huge greetings on behalf of REF Slovakia, and wish you a very pleasant time here with all of us. It's very nice to be here and to have opportunity to speak out during the time when we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the World Romani Congress. So that's I would like to first of all start with an overview of the past. It's very important to mention that the creation of the first World Roma Congress back in time in Orpington in 1971 it was one of the most crucial points that firstly, and that was the first time when we as a nation send a signal towards the world that we are here and we would like to be called as Roma nation. We first in the whole world, maybe the history of the world, we send this signal that we are here and we would like to be called as a Roma nation. The other important thing was the creation of the state, of the national symbols, which is the flag and the national anthem. Also during this time, firstly, maybe officially, it was the representatives of the that times Roma representatives from the world set up the most problematic issues, the parts what we are still facing among our communities, which is the education, healthcare, housing, or the employment. At this time, I would like to also share you too maybe some information about one of the contributors of the first World Roma Congress from Slovakia. I'm very happy that that time we had also a few representatives from Czechoslovakia. But I would like to talk about Dr. Jan Cibula, who was that time one of the first graduate, who was the first in Slovakia who graduated from medical school. But that time he decided to emigrate to Switzerland, but he was still somehow connected with the need of the development of our country and the whole situation with Roma nation. I would like to also maybe to share the information that just 1 or 2 years ago he was awarded by the State Award of the Slovak Republic, the award of the Ludovic Tour class, first class, and also he was also a nominant for the Nobel Prize. His contribution as a doctor and according to the fact he was a doctor, he was aware about the human rights issues. And I think that was the reason why he felt the need contribute in this way and to fight during his whole life for the rights of the Roma. That after this first Roma Congress, he became the president of the International Romani Union, and he also led the work group at the United Nations. I would like to continue about a quick evaluation or to summarizing of the present situation, and I would like to raise attention on the Roma Education Fund. I would like to say that during the years of the existence of the Roma Education Fund, the Roma Education Fund is not anymore just an organization which provides Roma students with financial support or other support. It is a community of young or Roma intellectuals. It is a community. It is a sphere where we develop work of Roma intellect and professional. It also is a place where we can develop our healthy Roma identity, because still in our educational system and in social system we don't have a lot of possibilities where we can practice our Roma identity, where we can develop that healthy identity as Roma. So I think this is one of the most important contributions of the Roma Education Fund. But also I would like to speak about some challenges or like milestones of the upcoming years from the perspective of the Roma Education Fund, which is maybe we had to stop for a while and think about also about the quantity and the quality of maybe the supporting or the support of the Roma students, and maybe think about the supporting maybe less students, but with maybe higher support. And now I'm not speaking about the financial support, but to the support of preparation, the future young leaders. I mean, maybe opportunities for a political or leadership development. And that's why I would like to raise the attention of the different scholarship programs. It is amazing that we have a Roma Memorial University scholarship program and also the health scholarship program, because during this pandemic situation, we were aware that healthcare professionals are very needed, and they are very important for our future. But at this point, if you would like to have in the future a huge and a very political representation with high competencies and knowledge, in my opinion, it is very important to establish a new scholarship program with a specific target on the students of law, political science, public policy, international relations, or social studies, because I think we have a kind of shortage in this perspective. I have to say that in Slovakia, we have a very nice political representations, but it is questionable that this political representation has a required quality and competence and knowledge. So let me say a big thank for this opportunity, and let me wish you a nice meeting and time here among us. Thank you so much.
Thank you also very much, and thank you for advices. Actually, I think we'll have the chances to discuss further how the support and engagement of Roma students should be designed in a way that is more effective. And thank you for raising this. I have to apologize as I jump over Romania. We have an alphabetic order, and because of myself being a Romanian, probably, I don't know, just jump over it without an intention. So I will ask Raisa and Vlada Ragiu, as Romania delegated two people to talk, to open their mic, and apologies for jumping your...
Raisa, would you like to start?
It's fine, you can start if you want.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to greet every one of you. My name is Vlada Ragiu, and I'm a second-year medicine student in Romania. I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to represent the Romania Roma student community in today's event, in which together we celebrate our existence and recognition as a people, the Roma people. Given the context, I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk to you about the topic which is dear to us. The foundation of the Roma movement in Romania was built by our forerunners with a creating in which we will among the many Roma leaders and parents has been the development, to mention activism Nicolae. The quintessence of the ideas which Nicolae Gheorghe has put forward is that Roma should no longer appear as perpetual victims of discrimination, but rather Roma should be encouraged to become fully engaged citizens who take life in their own hands. By being a role model himself and through his words and actions, Nicolae Gheorghe has always stood behind the idea that education is the pillar of evolution in any given society. If we take 10 seconds to think, we will quickly realize that by being students and by also taking pride in our Roma identity, we follow Nicolae Gheorghe's ideal, to be independent and to take life in our own hands. At the same time, it is important to offer the well-deserved appreciation to those who initiated and coordinated the Roma Memorial University Scholarship Program, the Roma Education Fund. A program that on the one hand gives us all the support and opportunity to focus more on our education, and on the other hand gives us context to gather together the Roma youth movement at the European level, allowing us to get to know each other and to proudly embrace our Roma ethnicity, including through the celebration of each of us academic achievements. I believe that us, the Roma youth, have the moral duty to make conscious efforts to restore the dignity and confidence to our local communities, often far too burdened. Through education and through Roma ethnic pride, by affiliating and expressing our Roma identities, we can change for the better our people's destiny. Our forerunners have fought for the creation of various means of facilitating change and getting closer to the Roma communities through NGOs, projects, programs, and by ensuring proper legislation. They have done so that us, the young Roma, can take full advantage of these tools to use whenever required. The inclusion of Roma specialists within public institutions will also provide successful models for the next generation and will inspire the confidence that anything is possible with the right support and by putting in the effort. But when we succeed, when we have achieved our most important goals, when we have reached our best potential, we should remain connected with our origins and with our people. I urge you, stay connected to your place of birth, to the communities you come from, and always bear in mind your past, our past. Never forget the harsh reality of today, which is that most Roma people, our brothers and sisters, are still in the situation of not having running water, not having decent housing, not having access to quality education, not receiving fair treatment in the medical system, and overall, not living a dignified life as any human being deserves. Through our presence in the various institutions where we will practice our profession, we have the chance to give our people the representation they need. I imagine myself in the halls of a hospital, greeting a Roma grandmother and looking into her eyes with a warmth and a love which maybe she hasn't encountered before in a hospital. For a moment, I close my eyes and I imagine her and myself asking her, "So stara Bilian, so ducal to bibie." I will use these last moments to invite you to take action. So I encourage you to give from your time, your energy, your knowledge, your empathy to the Roma communities and to our common cause, education, proud commitment to our ethnicity, and the well-being of the Roma people. Thank you for your attention and for this honorable opportunity. Opre Roma.
Thank you, Vlad. As we had a student to medicine, I know that from Romania was said that there will be two people talking because also the biggest number of the students, and Raisa, which is a student to music, will now take it over. Please, Raisa.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
We do.
Nice to menga. My
name is Raisa Mihai. I'm 22 years old and I learn in Music University in Bucharest.
For giving me the opportunity to have a voice. And I'm very happy to celebrate here with all of you our Roma Day, 8 April, or the 50th anniversary of the first Roma Congress. Akana mangau te karao sfato ando mai baro filosofo amarole romengo pai saurotem.
Now I want to speak about the biggest philosopher of our country, Nicolae Gheorghe.
Talking about Nicolae Gheorghe, who was one of the most important influencer figures in the Romani movement, history and culture. Nicolae Gheorghe was born in a Romani family of the 12th of November in 1946 in Telorman. His father was a jeweler and his mother came from a family of fiddles and harps. At the age of 9, his parents moved to Bucharest, where he studied philosophy and sociology, followed by several years of work at the Center of Sociological Research. This is when he began combining his personal interest with his professional activities, forming social studies about the Romani, which led him to several regions of Romania, allowing him to meet different Romani families. Interacting with these groups made him learn the Romani language. Nicolae started investigating the Romani situation in Romania and developed a plan for their social integration. His contacts from the worst academic world made it so that step by step he will be rejected by the system, being accused of manipulation and exaggeration of the Romani problem. He was questioned by the Romani security, his project was stopped, being forced to return to research regarding rural development. As a spiritual leader, Nicolae Gheorghe shaped thousands of Romani intellectuals, creating an elite cult recognized internationally, but obviously not Romania. He is also the one that imposed a perspective towards the Romani movement, the importance of human rights and citizenship, contrary to the perspectives most political parties abide by, who was only interested in votes. He died as an intellectual movement level. He longer than most of us will ever will. For those similar to him, death means nothing more than to not be seen. It is up to his millions of followers to perfect his beliefs, created from kindness, patience, and suffering. His international Romani movement began to attract more and more followers, immortalizing it. And now, after a lifetime of experiences, his final conclusion was as follows. The gypsy can be Roma. Gajo maybe, but only tolerated as a species, like a subspecies of humans. Sometimes I play a game called juggle with myself and my identities. Other times I become naked, as if I'm in the space between atoms, lost and depressed, completely obsolete. Sometimes I'm Romanian, other times I'm a gypsy. Sometimes I'm a Roma, other times European, and so on. Sometimes I even feel as if I'm in a limbo, staying in chaos with only myself, and that's when I have no idea of my true identity. Confront yourselves and be free. Imagining myself in such a moment, dreaming of it, I will say, yes, et in Arcadia ego. I'm a Roma, I became a Roma. When you have the courage to confront yourself and face the truth behind your faith in human liberties and basic values in order to maintain the faith that you defeated your fear and become a true Roma. All that is left is the solidarity of those similar to you to achieve unity and to become a nation. And now, my own message is, I would like to say that we can change things only with the power of the example of who we are, to be proud of who we are, to go in the world and talk about us and show ourselves. always be proud of who you are. When you travel, for example, like myself, as a musician, I travel a lot and I go at a lot of festivals with thousands of people from different countries. And I always get the question, you look so exotic. Where are you from? Turkey, Arabia, Albania. No one ever said Romania or that I'm Romani, but I'm always there to say that I'm a Roma girl from Romania, and immediately I can see on their face how surprised they are. So I ask myself, why? Because I think there are not of Roma girls who play classical music, finish the high school and the university. So I had this chance, the education. I think the education is the most important thing, especially in the Romani community. I'm an artist and I think I can change things through my art and music. So let's change the world to the power of what we do and be the example of Romani that the world needs. Always be proud of who you are and always show them what you can do. Finally, we have a voice. Budbărsha Angle, Opre Roma.
Thank you very much. As I said, we'll keep the applause at the end for everybody. Unfortunately, we're not in the room to do it as such, but we'll manage at the end. I'm pretty sure about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now we should move quickly to Turkey. Tunay Tokmak, which is a student to International Logistic Management in the 4th year. Tunay, yes. Please.
Yes. Hello, my name is Tunay Tokmak. I am so honored that on this special day, I have the pleasure to talk and represent all voices of Roma youth in Turkey. Today, we are celebrating the 5th anniversary of the first International Roma Congress. And 8th of April reminds us that we should be proud of our ethnicity by recognizing our culture, history, our language, flag, and anthem. However, 8th of April also reminds us of the issues that Romani people facing every day around the world. Today, I am going to mention some of these issues and what we are willing to do. Firstly, I would like to mention the historical background of Roma movement in Turkey. Roma movement has started at the beginnings of 21st century. With Roma gathering in 2009, Roma people's situations were brought into question for the first time in Parliament's history. Roma movement has gained importance with the issue of a strategy paper in 2016, which aimed at improving the living conditions of Roma people in the fields of education, health, employment, and social services. However, policies towards Roma people are not sustainable, and our aim is to ensure that sustainable decisions are made by authorities. Today, in Turkey's parliament, 2 Romani deputies represent us. And seeing this motivates us, the Roma youth, to get a proper education and represent our nation in a better way. As Romani youth, we believe that empowerment of Roma women plays a crucial role in our progress. Today, most of the Romani people do not have the opportunity to be involved in business life due to gender roles, lack of education, and financial support. In Turkey, there weren't any Romani women taking part in Roma movement at the beginning of the 21st century. However, they have started to take part, and we desire to support them to lead Roma movement, because we believe that we have to continue our movement considering gender equality. In this context, we feel quite motivated to take an active role in campaigns aimed at raising awareness about this issue and dissemination of establishments focused on empowerment of Roma women. Education is a non-negligible factor for a nation to grow. At the beginning of the 21st century, the number of university graduate Roma people was only 3 or 5, an estimate was only 3 or 5. In 2010, this number has increased to 200 people. At the moment, it is estimated that the number of university Roma graduate people is around 1,000. Our aim is to increase this number to 10,000 by the support of Roma Education Fund and governmental policies. We believe that education in some Roma neighborhoods, especially in primary schools, is inadequate. And even teachers have prejudice towards students since they think Romani children will not continue their education. We will draw attention to that issue and break down prejudices. We believe that Romani people have innate skills of art, and they can consolidate their place in society by emphasizing their genuine art style and music and painting. However, most of them cannot enroll in a conservatory and improve their skills because they simply have to work at early ages. Our aim as Roma youth in Turkey is to support Roma art by encouraging existing Roma establishments to give more importance to this crucial part of Roma culture and pioneer the foundation of supporting organizations like ERIAC. To conclude, I believe that all Roma people have to know their history, embrace their cultural heritage. Additionally, we have to take steps to improve our society. To do this, we, Roma youth, need to have some responsibilities and be supported by our community. Thank you for listening to me. Opre Roma.
Thank you very much as well. Very important what you brought into discussion. Also the importance of including Romani girls and women in what we do in our support. And thank you for that.
Thank you
now we
too.
move to Ukraine. There are also two people joining. Is Victor Chokva. Yes. I hope I pronounced it right. And Pachenko Janusz. Please.
Yes, I'm Victor. Hello all. My name is Victor Choka. I'm from Ukraine. And I'm also proud to be with all of you. Also proud to hear a lot of students with so strong Roma identity. Thanks Roma Education Fund to this important event for us. What I want to say is the first Roma Congress give for us a lot of opportunity for our nowadays. And one of them is to get education because for Roma, it's a bit harder to get education. And what I want to say about my feeling and a bit vision of my position, the situation in our country with Roma, it's much better than was, but despite this, we still have a lot of problems with education. And thanks also to, thanks God for Roma Education Funds that give for us opportunity to study and continue to have Roma activism in our country. For example, 20 years ago, we didn't have at all Roma students in Ukraine. Now in each Ukrainian town, you can find a Roma students, and almost each of them working with Roma community. Roma activism between youth, Roma youth, has been rise in our country. Yes, we still have a lot of different problems, and but we now unite to hard work. The result for our, like also to give now for brother Janusz some words.
Evan Bastale зарадился Старомалы. Mislim Janusz Panchenko, PhD student, Qatar, Ukraine.
Yes, I am a Janusz student from Ukraine. They are living here more than 600 years. Our population is big, and the history is big as well. In these 600 years, everything changed, and the time changed, and Roma changed. And the fundamental, the Roma education and integration is aside REF. REF has changed the life of many girls and boys. and they showed the way of these young people for a better life. These students try to help other Roma. For example, some time ago, there were no other Roma with high education. We had 0. But now in our time, there are many Roma that have education, that are teachers, doctors, political positions, scientists. And it's not only in my region, but also in different regions in Ukraine. Our people are still discriminating, and their life is still difficult, and we have to think about them to put our efforts together and help our communities in the best way we can. The 8th April, the International Day of our people, for our culture, for our language, for our hymn and flag, anthem. I would like to say to all people from Ukraine, from Europe, and from the world, I wish them health and happiness and power. And I wish happiness for the life of Roma, opre Romale. Luck and health to all of you.
Nice to keep Prala. I should say that Janusz is a PhD student in history and archaeology, and I hope that somebody will dig more for our history, so bring more data about our past heroes. That's something important. And thank you for your kind words to Roma Education Fund. Without you, the students probably wouldn't matter what we will do. So I think it's a mutual engagement and effort for our communities, and the impact should be there. Thank you very much. As I said that I become to be an old man, I start also forgetting things, and sorry for this type of prejudices, but Serbia, I forgot it again. So now I'd like to invite colleagues from Serbia to address to Ljiljana Kristic and Alexander Nikovlic. Please, and I sorry, apologizes for jumping you.
It's no problem. Hello, everyone.
We cannot see if we can take off this background because unfortunately we cannot see you, it's just the background.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a moment, please. Now I have problem to, I can remove. I don't know why.
Probably next to the video, if you click on that icon and background, you can say no background.
Yes, but I can. I'm sorry, but I can.
Okay, probably can move it in front and this is it.
Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. It's my pleasure and honor to be today to speak with great people for Roma Day. I must say big bravo for everyone. And now I will present. My name is Ljiljana. I come from Valjevo, from Serbia. I'm 39 old and I'm the mother of 2 young girls. My part in the education has been long gone. After finishing high school, I enrolled the business college in Valjevo. After that, I enrolled in the Faculty of Economics. Now I'm currently in the master study, and I think that working on myself and my training is very important. I never give up on education event in my obstacle were present. I will go back to past. I can help, but many on their early such supports in terms of affirmative action, no scholarship. But today, with the government of Republika Serbia, there is an office for human and minority rights, and well as team for social inclusion and poverty reduction. There is also National Council of Roma. It's a legitimate representative of Roma community. This situation in Serbia, it's much better today. We have a lot of education and young people who have higher education. I believe that everything that exists today, it's from support, motivation, inflation, young people, a lot that things to support as like REF and affirmative action measure implement in the territory of Republika Serbia. The number of reducted Roma in Serbia has increased. My interest in Roma activism began in 2003 and still go on. I was both a volunteer and a member on NGO and also work in the Roma National Council. Last years, I work like a Roma facilitator in the one project by implementing the Center for Integration Roma, Valjevo, incorporating for city administration. The many years for experience I have meant a lot to me, to many to cope in the business. That program referring to work placement and will know employer in order to better position in Roma in the labor market, again, and become more visible to employers. And some practicants continued to engagement in this company. We are currently also working Roma employment and self-employed program. The special I want to, it's a man who on the Roma community in the literature. It's Rajko Đurić. Rajko Đurić is a student faculty on psychology and received a doctor in sociology. He was the editor of culture columns and Diari Politica. Over article was also president of National Roma Union and a member of National Embassy. Of grammatic language, the history, as well a large number literary works. He standardized the Romani language and helping to introduce into the school system. Rajko Đurić, prominent fighter for Roma rights and certainly left a big mark in the Roma community. His contribution to the development of the Roma culture immeasurable. Roma will remember he as on the great intellectual we can say that it's real Roma ambassador, and that she represents Roma and Roma culture and Europe and beyond. In closure, my presentations, it's that has certainly been made to the development on the Roma community, but that work still need to be done. There are strategic documents that have been adopted, but is questions for implementations this document. Today, the Roma community has created an army of young education people who should continue to fight to work with the Roma community to motivate young people, because we need to show that we certainly have quality staff and need to break down stereotypes together. Thank you.
Thank you very much as well. I know that Serbia had a huge contribution to our past in 71, and therefore Stojko Duric and others that are still today engaged and very proud Roma that could mobilize others and also provide a lot of lessons learned from Serbia. Thank you for this presentation. Now, I would like to ask you if there is somebody else from Russia or Moldova or Croatia or other countries that would like to address. Unfortunately, we couldn't organize with all these countries, but if anybody from this country would like to address, or anybody else would like to take the floor for another minute, you be my guest. Now is time. Just open your mic if you want to talk, because I cannot see everybody. I think Tatiana Chubotari would like to address, cannot open her mic. Adi, if you can help us or somebody. Tatiana Chubotari.
Yes, we hear me?
Yes, we do. Please introduce yourself and give us, and probably we can see you too, because we cannot see it.
Yes,
right
yes,
now.
of course. I'm seeing. I'm sorry, but I have a big level of English, and I think that I thought that this conversation will be on with translating for Romanian language, and we had presented a presentation, and it is also on Romanian language, but I will start to present it on English, and my
You're from Moldova, just
yes.
so people know exactly. Tatiana is from Moldova. You can address either English, either Romanes. These are the two languages that we can use.
Okay, thank you. I will use English, and I'm from Moldova. My name is Tatiana Chubotari. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a student in the Medicine University of Moldova, the first and the fourth year. If you can I demonstrate my ecran? I will to present the presentation, which we do with my colleges. 1 second. Give me a possibility, because thank you. You see my presentation? Okay, I will start. I'm very glad to see all of our colleges and our friends on this great holiday for us, for our soul, for our ethnicity, for our people. And I would like to speak about all first steps which was in Moldova, which have some leads with our ethnicity. At the first step was when Moldova was in the okay, and at 1975 was made the first film about Romani people and Roma, and Moldovan producer Emil Lăceanu shot this film, which is based on the stories of Maxim Gorky, and this film about Roma leader in distribution in the USSR, and it was watched by 64 million of people, and this is grateful because it was a first recognition or appearance about history of Roma people on television. At 1979 was made the film Gypsy, South Tsigan, is based on the novel written by Anatoly Kalinin. And this is a story of Roma man named Budulai, a former frontline soldier who travels to the Soviet Union after the war. And at 1993, appeared a first project on television about Moldova in all its colors, which promotes the inclusion of the Roma in the active social life in our country. And this program is today, and it's prepared by Elena Sirbu. It is named Petalo Romanov. And 1996, our government, mostly Parliament of Republic of Moldova, made a convention which said about protect of national minorities, and also in 2001 was approved law about our rights and our possibilities in our country. And now in 2007 to 2010, also our government achieved a plan for action in order to our ethnicity. But I want to say that, of course, this this action plan also is achieved and also adapted at 2016 and 2020. But yes, of course, it includes social benefits, information, improving access to education and more. But from year to year, no funds are allocated for its implementation. If you understand, we always in these documents it writes that our government doesn't have money to improve, to make in reality these plans. And I want to speak about our step, our victory. In 2014 was achieved a program about mediators. It is important because mediators are like a bridge between the Roma community and the local administration, which improve all our deals and all our goals which we have. It became more it became more simple to achieve to be here, to be to be achieved by our government. At 2019, we also have such a victory. We in our parliament was a first politician who doesn't it is Radu Marian, which always help us to do something in our community to make to do an advice and support. Also,
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just need to move a little bit faster because we are over time anyway. So if you can conclude already, and I'm sorry for this push, but we need to go a little bit faster in your case comparing to what I said earlier.
It's very hard to explain in English because I'm Russian language and make a presentation on Romanian and now to
we understand that we are sorry the language were established Romani and English. So
okay, I will make my first. I will. Community and I think in all poverty, education, and job, it is all leads into each other. They cannot get an education due to this lack of. They are deprived of the opportunity to get a job, and unemployment gives us the poverty. And later, they need to constantly migrate for seasonal work, and now it is everything that was shaking and without support on this pandemic situation was collapsed during the pandemic. Very low participation rate of the labor market is based on two structural reasons because public policies that don't effectively address this issue. Among Roma population, we have quite a very meek percent of person which are employment and a very meek percent.
I need to thank you. I need to thank you very much. We need to stop. We don't need to go into too much details. I just want to say that your English is really perfect, and thank you for that. Also, thank you for bringing all this information to us. If you want, we can share the PowerPoint with all the participants, and I think that will be great to acknowledge this information. Moldova has also important history in relation to Roma as films, as art. And also as a political activist there for instance, Artur Cerari, Nicolae Rădița, and others. And thank you very much for bringing that to discussion. The presentation can be shared and we'll distribute to all the colleagues that were attending the meeting. Unfortunately, time is passing quickly, and I would like to quickly invite my colleagues that contributed to this and prepared it. Recep to address a few words, then Kinga, Akif, and we'll wrap up after that. So Recep, if you want to go first.
Yes, thank you, Ciprian. Dear students, as Ciprian introduced me, I'm Recep Ali Ciupi, one of the co-directors in the Roma Education Fund, and I must say former beneficiary of so it's proud to me to serve now REF and contribute somehow to the foundation that supported me during my studies. On behalf of my personal name and on behalf of REF's management, I would like to thank you all for accepting this challenge and participating at this first, I would say, historical Roma Students Summit. Also to thank to all speakers about their courage to deliver all these messages that warmed somehow our hearts and souls. Thank you very much. Also, I would like to direct a special thanks to our colleagues from the country coordinators, some of the country facilitators, also all the other colleagues from the Roma Initiative Office who supported us in organizing the 6 meetings last week, but also and this event. Without their support, I'm sure that this was not going to happen. Also, I would like to invite you to go on our Roma Education Fund page on Facebook and accept the campaign which we are introducing regarding the marking of the Roma International Day for this year. It is a hashtag challenge accept, then it's a hashtag flash mob and refs. You can post your pictures, flag, and all of your peers, friends, families. And that's how we will somehow post our pride through our messages and videos for this year, celebrating the Roma International Day, but also the 15th anniversary of the first Roma World Congress. I wish you success in your studies. Also, I wish you firstly be healthy together with your family and keep going with your successful stories in your academic activities in future. Dovensaste, Bahtale, Tai Opre Roma.
Opre Roma, thank you, Recep. I would like another colleague that contributed a lot to this event besides Recep, Kinga Retri. Kinga, if you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Ciprian.
Yes.
Thank you. So, can you hear me? Yes, hopefully.
We can hear you. Go
yes,
ahead.
Okay. I'll be very quick. I know we're over time, so thank you for this opportunity. And my name is Kinga Retri. I serve the Roma Initiatives Office, which is part of the Open Society Foundations, which is one of the supporters of the scholarship program at the Roma Education Fund. And it's been an absolute pleasure to follow the messages that you have all brought with you today. I've been trying to come up with a word, something that, you know, how I would describe what I'm seeing here in the screen in front of me with, at one point, more than 200 of you listening and some of you talking. And the two words that come to my mind repeatedly, somehow clearest and loudest, are potential and power. And saying that Ciprian already mentioned, that there is nothing more powerful than a Roma with a library card. I would say that for me, today's student summit made me think that there's actually probably nothing more powerful and hopeful than many, many proud Roma students from all over Europe with a very clear and strong Roma identity, with many library cards from many, many schools, with many different ideas. And all of you talking also about what you can do for Roma individually in your own capacity, but also very importantly, what you can do together, what you can do by joining forces among yourselves and with others out there. And all that to me is power and potential. And I hope you also feel those as you walk away from this conversation and from this discussion, and you think about these potentials and these powers that you have, and you can have even more of once you will join forces. So congratulations. I think the future is looking much brighter for all of us. Thank you. Opre Roma.
Thank you very much, Kinga, a colleague that we can rely on. Also, Roma Initiative Office. It's a very important supporter of Roma Education Fund, the most important supporter. And in this way, we can go further and support students and our activities in the field. Well, what I would like to do right now is to ask something that I don't know if it will work or not. But I think everybody that spoke today and the ones that were speaking in your context to establish what the spokesperson is going to say has a great contribution for today, and thank you for that. So let's try something. Let's again open our mics, all of us, and let's applaud. Let's applaud all the speakers, like we'll be in the room, in the same room, in the same united. Open your mics. Dopre Roma. Thank you very much for today. We'll stop here the recording, and I hope the next summit that we are going to organize will have more time, and we'll come up to see how you as students can contribute to our communities, how we see our community development, and how we'll work together for these reasons. Thank you once again. Thank you for organizing in a short time. Thank you for answering our call, and I'm looking forward to see you again. It was really a pleasure to see this screen with so many young people, enthusiastic and dedicated to their own nation. Thank you. See you soon.